Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with KPP Live, the show that's dedicated to providing you with advice for life so that you can live richly and work towards the life that you've earned. My name's Kyle Roy. I'm a financial advisor with Kentucky Planning Partners, and I'm happy to be joined today with my good friend Mike Bodner, who's the president and co-founder of Ingenium Talent, a talent search and acquisition firm here in Louisville, Kentucky. Mike has been in the talent search and acquisition business for 20 years. He has a wealth of knowledge. He co-founded Ingenium, started it in 2016, has seen extraordinary growth, and right now in a time where we hear about job searches, job shortages rather, and talent shortages, where really I think the timeliness of this meeting is very, very good, because quite frankly, there might be a lot of people out there that are searching for jobs, scratching their head. You might know that you could improve your career if you just had the wherewithal and the network to be able to do so. Also, if you're a business owner and you're looking for good candidates to fill roles, Mike's insight and his company can really help you potentially, depending on what industry you're in and what you're looking for. So with that said, Mike, welcome to Coffee with KPP. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for a while, and now it's here.
It is.
So,
it came quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Mike and I have known each other for a little over 2 years now. We belong to a workout group here in Louisville, so we've become good friends over the last little bit, and it's just really cool to get to hang out with you on a different level.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So Mike, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about your story. So you've been in this business 20 years. Tell us a little bit about your background and how Ingenium Talent came to be.
Yeah. So I've been in the business for about 20 years. It's all I've ever really done out of school, not to age myself, but got into it back in 2000, 2001 time frame. And started out in the industrial staffing world doing temp business and things of that nature, and just over the course of time grew, held several different roles, from a branch manager to a salesperson to a regional salesperson, and was with a company called Manpower Group, which is a large global Fortune 100 company, for about 8 years, up until 2016. At that time, got the itch to leave and go out on my own and start my own thing, and got my family on board and got their blessing. In 2016, me and a few other guys jumped ship and started what's Ingenium Talent.
That's awesome.
So,
how was that? So we have a lot of entrepreneurs that watch the show. You very quickly, in a couple minutes, maybe talk about that. You said you got your family involved, family on board. I can only imagine that day that you went from the corporate world with a nice income, 401k match, to working on your own. That's a huge investment in yourself, shows tremendous amount of self-confidence. But how was that? Was it everything you expected or not?
Well, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you, but it was scary, but it was also exciting at the same time. And so, perspective, looking back, and hindsight's always 20/20. So it looks different today than it did then. Then it was a little bit of anxiety mixed with hope. We've kind of moved past the anxiety stage now, and we're more on the hope side. So it's been good. It's been really good.
It's a little more than hope, though, because you talk about your business and the trajectory of your business and how well things have been going. You've got some opportunities that you're looking at doing. The growth is there. Any regrets, or do you wish you did it sooner, perhaps? Or
I would say that would be the only regret, is maybe not starting a couple years earlier. Again, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, that's right. And we hear that a lot from entrepreneurs. People always cutting that cord. I myself did it, joining KPP, and it's really, again, terrifying at first because you don't know what you don't know. But then when you go to business for yourself and you're working for the people that you're serving as opposed to a corporation, it really is a liberating thing. So yeah, kudos. So let's talk about Ingenium for a moment, if you don't mind. What is your focus? For who are your clients and what kind of candidates you're looking for? So I guess first, what industry specifically do you serve at Ingenium?
So we work across multiple industries. So we're a professional search and staffing firm, obviously locally owned and operated here in Louisville, and we work in really several different major areas. So we do accounting and finance, we do engineering and manufacturing, we have a focus in supply chain, information technology, office professional, and administrative type placements. And
Okay.
so really anything along those lines from, I would say, maybe a $16-17 an hour pay rate up through executive level search. So we work contingent search, we work retained search, and we do temporary placements and consulting engagements at really every level in between those ranges across all those verticals.
So, and one of the things that we talked about in our preparation for the show was how difficult it is for companies to find good talent. And when we look in the news now, I know there's a lot of politicizing going on about the relief payments for COVID, and people think that that's lending to the job shortage or difficulty finding work. But you're dealing with candidates and employees that are above the minimum wage level, right? That really wouldn't be affected by the $300 weekly payments, yet you're having a hard time finding people to fill roles. And you said something that's really interesting to me about maybe training and education. So let's talk about that. What do you think is the biggest problem or the biggest challenge that companies are having finding talent right now?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think it's probably going to differ from company to company, right? Everybody has their own unique challenges, but I think the overarching challenge in the economy or in the job market, at least in the spaces that we're playing in, is going to be a talent shortage. I know we talked about this, and there's a demand for technical talent, whether it be an accountant, an IT professional, an engineer, a skilled trade individual. There's a higher demand for those types of individuals than there actually are those types of individuals.
Wow.
And so, you exacerbate that with the fact that the market is boosted right now. Everything's out of control, manufacturing especially, and you have a talent shortage with, lower demand, or you have lesser talent than there is demand, and then you've got even more demand now. And so if you put those two together, a lot of companies are struggling. A lot of companies are having a very, very hard time.
So I can only imagine, though, the most candidates that you get, most resumes you see are college-educated Americans, but are they just not studying the right things? So is that what you see, quite frankly? So I was a philosophy major, right? So I got a BA and BS is the running joke about my education, all right? And now, granted, I was history econ minor. I was fortunate to live in New York, and I got a job while I was in college, and a mentor of mine said, Kyle, study what you want at school because you're going to study what you need to know at work. So I'm a very big proponent of internships for college students, because I really think with the education you can get with on-the-job, hands-on training is integral. But for those people that aren't fortunate enough, that aren't going to school in the city, might be at a rural school, are you seeing, I don't know, and we didn't talk about this, but I hope I'm not throwing you a curveball, but are you seeing too many philosophy major resumes and too few accounting major, statistics major, engineering degrees than you should? Is that...
Well, I don't know if we're seeing too many of those liberal arts types degrees, because I don't think you can have too many of those. What we're not seeing is enough of the other.
Fair enough.
The technical degrees. I, for one, actually like hiring people with a liberal arts background. I was a Spanish major.
All right.
So, I ended up in staffing because of it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. When I got out, I just knew I did well in that, and I think that is a good path for people. If somebody's in college, I don't know that they should worry about necessarily trying to get one of these technical degrees. Just go get the degree. What people need to look at when they get out of school is getting to work and getting some experience. Not getting the six-figure job or even the $60,000 job that people feel like they're supposed to get, or they've been told that they're going to be able to get when they graduate with this degree. It just doesn't happen. In some cases it does, but that's few and far between, I think people should just get out, start getting experience, and like you said, you'll learn what you need to know when you start to work. You get in there, you roll your sleeves up, one thing leads to another.
I read a book, I think it's, I I forget, but it talks about the importance of apprenticeship. I'll put it in the show notes, the book, because I'll remember it. But Robert Greene, he's the author of the 48 Laws of Power, and his book is called Mastery. So in the book Mastery, he talks about the importance of apprenticeship. And in our society, I think you hit something, and again, this is anecdotal, but the idea of the apprenticeship, the learning period, it's not spoken of as much. It might not be highly regarded. You're right. People, I think, graduate expecting the six-figure salary. They expect to go out and make all this money, when it's just the importance of that life experience early on in your career, being able to find things that you don't like doing, and then ultimately working towards the things that you love. And so let's talk about, what if somebody's in a rut in their career? What kind of experience are you looking for, specifically in those trade jobs, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to be the route for everybody. And I think we talked about this too. You start getting into the skilled trades, there's a huge demand there, but maybe it doesn't make sense for somebody that's in a call center and feels like they're stuck to go into that. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to talk to those types of people, what I would say is just find the parts of your job that you like. Look at the company that you're in, figure out what you're good at, see if there's any way that you could further utilize what you're good at in your own company. Rub elbows with people, ask questions, talk to people, be known, do a good job, and see if it goes from there. If nothing feels like it's going to flourish from there, then maybe start looking at other companies where you feel like it could. On that skilled trades front, the people that can get into that arena. Now, I think one of the issues with where we're seeing a lower demand there is people's minds that are wired for skilled trades or for mechanical aptitude and things of that nature. A lot of those people are wanting to go, create video games now. And so, I think, and this is my own personal opinion, I think that the IT field is maybe sucking up a lot of the people that historically may have gone into the skilled trade space in the manufacturing arena.
Interesting.
That could be one thing. So now there's a larger demand for people with this type of aptitude, and it's not just the skilled trades anymore. But if somebody feels like they're working in manufacturing, this would be a great opportunity. If somebody feels like they're in a dead end in manufacturing, there is a huge opportunity to go on to a 2-year apprenticeship or to get maybe a technical degree from a community college, and then come in and be in a skilled trades role with substantially higher income. I want to say like the average machine operator or production associate working in a manufacturing facility is probably going to make, depending on the company, anywhere from maybe $12 to $15 or $16 an hour.
Wow.
The skilled trades individuals, the maintenance techs, the machinists, and things of that nature, and those same companies are going to be making double that, if not a little bit more, plus overtime. So you're looking at taking a $30,000 a year job in the same exact location, in the same exact building, turning it into a $60,000 to $70,000 a year job.
Wow.
And those jobs are vacant. People cannot find them. They're out there. They're ready for the taking. We just can't find the people to take them. Now, we find the people to take them.
That's right. That's your...
and that's why our clients come to us, because, but even we sit around all day long. All we do is look for these people. And a lot of times, we have issues finding people. But we are able to do it.
So are those, let's say there are those people, those candidates that are out there, what's the process? You don't want to be flooded with resumes that people aren't applicable to your specific criteria, but do you encourage people to reach out? How do you build networks? How do you build that list of candidates to help? I mean, it's got to be really, really hard to find those people. So if you're out there and you find yourself in one of those what are the manufacturing, lower level manufacturing, and you believe in yourself that you can, where do they reach? How do they find you, or how do they become a candidate? And what's a good process to do that?
Well, I would say, we'll help anybody that comes to us. Now, whether we're going to be able to place that individual, that's a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. If we could place everybody that come to us, we probably wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation.
That's right.
Because that would be a great thing. But the fact of the matter is, you can't place everybody. But we'll help people along and help point them in the right direction. We're able to help the people that already have the skilled trades experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we'll work in that space. And again, all the way up through executive level management, so we can, help those individuals as well. But I would say that if somebody, came and they didn't have that, what I would encourage people to do would be to go to, start looking into a technical school, start looking into some of the programs, or even ask your employer, what could I do to get into one of these more skilled spaces? But I think, again, if we go back to the call center person we were talking about a minute ago, we talk about this person from a manufacturing facility, it all starts with taking a personal inventory. I think, really figuring out what it is that you're good at, what it is that you like to do, what skills that you have that could propel you forward, and then having those conversations. Don't be afraid to ask what can happen to take your career to the next level.
Mike, I love what you just said, because we open up the show by saying that the goal of this show is to provide advice for life so that you can live richly and work towards the life that you've earned. And what you just said really is the summary of what that means. When we say living richly, it's not having a lot of money necessarily. You can live richly and be happy and flourish and thrive without a tremendous amount of money, right? One man's rich is another man's poor, is what we often say here. And living richly is getting home at night and loving what you did during the day, loving your job and feeling fulfilled in the work that you do, and working towards the life that you've earned. If you find yourself in a role that you're just not happy, take Mike's advice. Look at trade schools. Look at finding the apprenticeship or the education that you need, because businesses are starving for skilled, experienced individuals to fill these roles. So the jobs are out there. It's just that you can be that person to fill it. Yeah. So let's talk about what are companies. Go ahead.
I was going to add to that too, and it's not just at that level. I would say the same thing to an executive looking, at their career. Where do you want the next 10 or 15 years to go? It all starts with that personal inventory. Are you going to get what you need out of your job where you're at now? Or is it going to be somewhere else? Maybe it is now, and how do you go have that conversation with the powers that be to get you to where you want to be, where you're at now? If at the end of that inventory you figure out that maybe it's worth poking your head around, and we're seeing a lot of people do that these days, then maybe you want to figure out what type of company is going to offer me what it is that I'm looking to do. But you can't answer that question until you know what it is that you're actually looking to do. Mm-hmm. So
and just reaching out to the folks at Ingenium might be a way to say that. If whether you're an executive, whether you're a mid-level employee, being part of that database that you have of individuals could create opportunities that even you or the people at home could never even know. And so let's talk about what are companies doing? If there's a shortage of talent, are those jobs going overseas? Are they becoming automated? So in other words, if we can't fill this talent pool, those jobs need to be filled, right? Well, what's happening there?
Well, I think that's the $1 million question, and that's a fear that I have, especially as things progress. If we're not able to address this talent shortage, what does that mean? What does that mean for companies here? Are they going to be able to be here? It's sending jobs overseas to save money is always, it's a bad thing. It comes up and people don't like it. There's a stigma attached to it. But if it becomes, less about saving money and more about the fact that we just can't staff the facilities, and then, what are we to do? Mm-hmm. What are other countries doing that might have these people, and why do they have them and we don't?
Yeah.
I don't know that other countries have them either. I know that there's some more economical solutions for some companies to send jobs overseas, but I think being able to find the talent and have it here is going to be something that from an economical standpoint we're going to have to address in the next really now, but in the next 5 to 10 years, or there could be some issues.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about Ingenium. Since 2016, your company's growing. What differentiates Ingenium from other talent acquisition companies?
I would say first is our people, our team. Our team is, we got some highly talented individuals. Everybody in every position that we have in our office is very good at what they do. We have a ton of tenure. We have a ton of understanding of the spaces that we work in, and we take a lot of pride in what we do. That's the first thing. If you don't have the right people, and I think our slogan's "People are everything," we have to have that first before we go preach it to everybody else. And we do have the right people. So that if we don't have the right people, then we won't be able to take the second part of that, which is our process. We're told time and again from our clients that your all's process is just different. It's felt different. Even the candidates that come in to search for jobs, or that we assist in job placement, leave us a Google review or something of that sort saying, this was different than any other staffing company that I've worked with. We're very thorough, almost to a fault at times, if you can be. I don't think you can be in our business, but it's the process. It's, we take the time to get to know the candidate. We take the time to get to understand the client. We understand the hiring process. We consult the candidate and the client throughout the process, which is something a lot of our competitors don't do, or they don't do well. It's a difference. We don't just take down a job and get a job description and go try and find somebody. We need to figure out what it is exactly that our clients are looking for, who's going to fit into that culture, what are the things outside of that job description. I don't really even care about the job description. I care about outside of the job description. What are the things that the clients are looking for? We do a very good job of finding that out. Once we find it out, we do a very good job of creating the mold for what's going to fit for XYZ company. And over the course of time, we're just an extension of their talent acquisition strategy. It's literally like having a recruiter or HR person sitting in another office working on your behalf, speaking your game and pitching your pitch on your behalf.
I love it because when we were talking, you had mentioned that, and it really is what, if I were to summarize what you just said, it sounds like you guys have a long game. So when Mike talks about clients, the clients that Ingenium has are the businesses. So if you're a business owner or you're a business executive and you're struggling with your hiring process and your recruiting and you're looking for good talent, give Ingenium a call, because if you're especially in the industries or niche that Ingenium can help with, the relationships that you seem to be building are just extraordinary, and you take the time to not only understand the job role, like you said, but the culture of the firm. And you care enough not only about the company, obviously, your clientele, but you break it down, and if a candidate is not a good fit for that organization, you're not going to kick them. You've said this several times. You're not just going to kick that candidate to the curb. You're going to consult that candidate. You're going to help them. You're going to provide feedback for that person, because they may not be a fit now, but the other clients that you have, who knows if they might be a fit for something else in the future. And you actually realize that these are human beings. And you haven't said that explicitly, but I get that from you. And and that is different. And it just I'm so glad that you've been successful in that so far.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been, you do the right thing by people and clients, and things take care of themselves.
I love it. So what's the future of Ingenium look like?
Well, that remains to be seen, obviously, because it's a future, but we are opening an office in Nashville actually this week. So July 1st is our first day down there. One of our partners, Jeff Crow, moved down there and is going to be starting that office.
Awesome.
So we're excited about that. And then from there, it's just to continue to grow, continue to provide value to the clients, and see what happens from there. Now we are also hiring our own people, and so we try to help other companies address their hiring needs, and we're also looking at trying to address our hiring needs. And so right now we've got we could take on another 2 to 3 people. So if there's anybody watching out there, and any of these liberal arts majors that are coming out of school that don't know what they want to do with their career, staffing's a great place. We're open to talking. So we're just trying to get as many good people on the bus as possible. We're just trying to get the right people in, doing the right things, people with passion, people that want to build a career, people that want to have some autonomy and be able to get in there and work hard and do their own thing, and that's where it's going to take us. So
and it seems like a really fulfilling place to work. You are literally helping people not define who they are, but spend the majority of their time doing something that they're passionate about. And you guys take it seriously enough where you're not going to play. Granted, with the amount of business you guys are doing, you can't bat 1,000. But to be able to help people find where they are going to thrive, where they are going to live richly, where they are going to provide their benefit and who they are to society as a whole, not just to the company. But it just seems like a really blessed life, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is cool. I mean, being able to help people is the best part of the job. Now, it's not always that easy, because we are dealing with people, so a lot of times people might not know what they want, or they might think they want something, and then they get down the road, and then they realize that wasn't what they wanted, and so there's frustrations just like any business. But at the end of the day, when you put the candidate together with the client and it ends up being a good thing, there's not really many more rewarding things, I think, that could happen. And then when people come back to you and they say, hey man, I really appreciate what you guys did, or a company comes to us and says, you guys have done a bang up job. You've placed all these people in our company. It's a different place. You've made my life easier. Those are the things that we relish.
And just wait. So you've only been, Ingenium's been around 5 years. Just wait, because you're going to have in another 5 years and 10 years these companies that you're helping staff. You're going to watch them grow, and you're going to be able to share in their growth. And I just envision, Mike, in 20 years, you're going to look back and you are going to see the impact that you've had and the thousands of lives that you've helped impact, and then the secondary and tertiary effects of that. You're changing the future. So, and I don't think that's an overstatement at all. So kudos to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck. How should people contact you? So if there are business owners or executives watching, or potential people that we struck a chord with, maybe looking for a next step in their career, is there an appropriate way to reach out to you folks at Ingenium?
I know you mentioned the notes, the video notes. So I don't know if we could you were going to put the book in there by
Yes,
Green.
Robert Greene's Mastery. And
so maybe we can add that in there.
Yep.
Our website's www.ingeniumtalent.com. It's INGENIUM talent.com. I'm Michael.Bodner at ingeniumtalent.com, and you can find our phone number on Google. And
you're gonna get like 2 million emails after this show.
Hey, I hope so. I hope so. I hope there's a bunch of people out there wanting to talk.
Is there anything you'd like to close? Just last thoughts, closing thoughts with the audience?
No, I just want to thank you for having me in. This has been fun. Didn't really know what to expect when you called me. You're like, hey, I want to have you in and do this. It was good, but I'm glad we did it. It was fun. Maybe we'll come back in 20 years. We'll see if your thoughts had come true, and
it
maybe
100% will. There's no question. Yeah, we'll have you in before.
Talk about it again.
And what we could do is we'll be able to record a show down in Nashville, your new Nashville office in a year.
Yeah.
We have networks down in Nashville because it's just a phenomenal marketplace, and I love Nashville. It's one of my favorite cities. So.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on, Mike, and for everybody watching. I hope that this was helpful. I've just benefited from my friendship with you over the last several years. I look forward to many more good times. And if you have any questions or concerns, please go on to the ingeniumtalent.com website, and also reach out to us at KPP. If you're in a job transition, if you have recently left a job and you have a 401k at an old company, what we like to do is help manage our clients live richly by making sure their assets are aligned with their long-term goals. So any way we can help you in a job transition, we'd be glad to as well, to help you manage your personal finances. So on behalf of everybody here at Kentucky Planning Partners, thank you for watching. My name's Kyle Roy. Our phone number is 502-394-0400. We're on the corner of Shelbyville Road and Hurstbourne Lane on the top floor of the Flash Cube building, the best view in all of Louisville. So on behalf of everybody here, thank you for watching. Have a great week.